point was to do it and take the free. Yeah, I was. It was one of those days where I was left alone in the office, like
nothing else better to do.
And and I was again an intern, and just had absolutely nothing to do but to absolutely waste company resources.
Oh, there it is. Oh okay. Man, I could. Yeah, you got. What do you got going on right now? You got Revenge going on back there.
Oh, okay. So looks like I already hit start streaming, I think. I'm trying to get.
Yeah, you did.
I'm trying to get you situated on the screen. All right. Well, welcome in, everybody. There you go. All right. If anybody's live and wants to give us a shout out tonight, we are here. Yeah. I'm glad that you got to see the setup. We've been trying to figure out what to do. I've gone and upgraded the situation a little bit better with Roger here, the 8-Bit Esquire, as opposed to Lewis, so we can make Lewis a little jealous.
That's right.
But so let's just hang out, and I've got a couple. All right, James Boone's here. All right, we got some people here live, so we're
some guys coming in. All right,
we're just hanging out tonight. Mr. 8-Bit Esquire himself here has been, of course, YouTube's newest retro sensation by jumping on the scene last week.
Yeah.
And then actually before this, we had been talking about some PVMs that you had been purchasing, right?
We've been meaning to get together for a while. I think it was before you ended up in the hospital. I think we were.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, like because I've got 2 PVMs sitting here, both from Japan, and I remember when I bought them, I sent you a DM. I'm like, dude, look what I just bought, and look how much I paid for it. And you're like, get the fuck out of here. And you're like, oh, we gotta stream it. We'll do the stream, and that was probably 6 weeks ago, I think.
Right.
And then you ended up in the hospital, and then I ended up losing power, and then I ended up in trial last week, and it's just like one thing after another, and it just never materialized. But finally, we're here. So that's it's weird. I'm watching the YouTube feed right now, and we're a solid we're like a solid 10-second delay, but whatever.
Oh,
we're making it happen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Roger, you just have to pay attention to my voice. And follow that and not worry so much, except for maybe the chat. I do see the chat here. I'm running OBS, and it does give me a chat, so I can see people talking and responding there. So that's good. But anyway, so you've got a couple of these PVMs.
So what do you want to do? You want to set the table?
Well, I was going to say, before you actually open them up, tell us, everybody, how you found them, what the kind of the process was of buying them. I
don't want to. I kind of.
Or you want to keep that a secret?
Secrets. No. Look.
You just tell as much of the sauce as you want to.
Yeah. No. I mean, I touched upon this in my video. You go. So Buyee.com is where I go if I'm importing anything from Japan, and Buyee is it's like a aggregator of all the different Japanese auction sites. Like you've got Yahoo Auctions, you've got Mercari, you've got however many else, and they all just show up on Buyee.com. And Buyee is kind of like a global storefront for anybody that wants to import anything from Japan. And they make it super easy to set up an account, credit card information, PayPal, however you want to pay, whatever. And yeah, so you just go in there and you could import virtually anything. I mean, you can't just go in and type in PVM, 19M2 and expect to get results. Like you kind of have to do a little bit of digging. And for me, if you just browse the different categories, you could find it, and then you could search the different keywords. And I was able to find a couple. And sellers don't care about, like if you were to put a PVM on eBay, for instance, your first thought is, well, how the hell am I going to get it to people? I have to figure out a way to ship it. And for folks in Japan, if they're going to be selling to like Buyee or one of these aggregators, they could care less because they don't have to worry about the international shipping. All they have to worry about is getting it in a box and getting it to the distribution center in Tokyo. And then from that point forward, Baiyi just does the rest. They actually do the professional shipping. So like Steve, when you said, I think you had mentioned on a previous podcast that when you got your stuff from Japan, it looked just like mine. Similar box, similar red tape, similar, it just looked, it was packed similarly from what you saw in some of the posts I had on Twitter. So whoever is there at that distribution center, they're doing all the packing, and they must be doing a pretty good job. And when you buy online, if you buy their standard plan with the insurance, I mean, you get you get full insurance. If it's damaged at all at any point during the shipment, you can make a claim, get your money back. The shipping is the most expensive part of all of this. I mean, I bought each of these PVMs for under $100. So it was too good to be true. So I'm not going to pass it up. I bought it. Hopefully they came in one piece. We're going to find out tonight together.
Yeah, you've been
we're
waiting
going to
a
find
while,
out
right?
live.
Well,
yeah, I've been waiting a while, but
how much,
honestly, I didn't.
How much
Go
was
ahead.
like the shipping cost then once you were able to get all that booked?
So it was about $250 for each one.
That's interesting.
So
okay.
yeah, it was about $250 for each one. But again, fully insured. Got here in less than a week, which is insane.
Yeah.
And they did all the packing for me and everything like that. So all told, I spent maybe a little over $300 on each one of these, which if they work great, it's still a bargain. So I'm personally pretty excited about opening them up.
You have to wait.
I hope they work. Yeah, I mean, but it's not like, I've been busy. I've had other
Yeah.
But,
Good timing.
But yeah, my wife we'll bump into them. She's like, what are these two big ass boxes that are just, I'm like, me and Steve are doing a thing.
Well, that's kind of interesting because it sounds to me like possibly the person that I bought mine from on eBay was over there and, like you said, might be another one of these buyers that ships it after they just get it from Baiyi and they ship it on their own, and they're like trying to be the middleman there with their eBay account through America. So they're importing it like the one that I got, because it was about $300 or $400, and it was packed the same way. So that would make sense that if the boxes look the same, maybe they're both being packed the same place, and it's just different people. Like this person tried to do basically what you're doing. Only
could be.
They're probably over in Japan or something, and that's
because
they're in New York. That's why they have the New York eBay account. That makes more sense now.
That's just what I was about to say. That's just what I was about to say, because your listing said they were from New York. So it's like if I were to put a listing saying from Detroit.
Yeah.
And I was just going to spin it off and send it somewhere else. And what's cool with these, you could keep them at their warehouse for up to a month. So what that guy probably did was he probably bought them, kept them at the warehouse, real cheap for under $100, kept them at the warehouse, and then he was just waiting to see who his buyer was, and then he would tell Baiyi, okay, ship to this address, and just ship it there. That's probably what ended up happening with yours. And he's just the middleman, and he's collecting all the money. I don't know.
I don't think he made a lot of money. That's kind of funny too.
No,
I bet he was disappointed when they broke the one that.
Right.
But no, actually, he still gave me. We actually worked something out where I only had to pay about half price for it. But yeah,
and you ended up buying. Did you buy 14 inches or 19 inches?
No, they were both 14s. The ones that I had. 14s. Yeah. Now,
I very rarely see 19 inches on there. It's mostly just 9s and 14s.
Yeah, people don't want to ship 19 inches anymore, and they shouldn't.
No.
I was trying to piece together two 19-inch Olympus monitors that they're in 100 pieces out in the garage right now. They were both damaged at shipping, but I can make maybe one good one out of the two.
But dude, you had a streak, man. Like
yeah, I know. And now I'm on a streak of it going the other way. So
right, I mean, the house has to win eventually, I mean,
I'm waiting for another one to find so that I can get off this streak, but I haven't found one yet. But yeah, if I mean, so we've got you've got both of them there,
Yeah,
or just one?
let me
You want
let
to
me
start,
pull,
get set up,
yeah, let
and
me
start?
put one up here. I don't know how. All right, listen, I'm gonna just
You're
wing
fine.
this. I put no thought into how I'm actually gonna present this.
Yeah, you'll just have to try to. If you go back by your Saturn games back there, we can see you by your shelves or anything. I'll try to get your image a little bit more squared up down there. Now, if you're looking in here, what you see is Roger's down in the bottom corner. I'm beside him, obviously. And then above me, I've got a Sony PVM 14L2 right here in the shop. It's one that's this is one of the ones that I bought that was on the good streak of shipping. Roger was talking about. Oh yeah, there's that lovely box. This should be pretty easy to open.
Well, hold on.
Let me get it out.
Let me see. Let me see how it looks on Discord. Oh, okay. This isn't too bad. Okay,
yeah,
this
yeah.
isn't.
Yeah, we could see it.
All right, let me get. I don't have a knife down here. Hold on. Give me a moment. Uno momento.
So SSBM Andy was asking, well, sometimes people wonder why you use CRTs. How do I explain to someone that you work on CRTs professionally? Are they shocked? Yeah, it's an interesting thing that most of the time when people that are outside of something like this find out what I do, they are, of course, shocked, but they think it's cool. They usually they think it's a really cool thing that, anytime that somebody that doesn't do something online like this and you got somebody else doing it, it's a small business. And I've been fortunate to be able to be in the right place and do things the right way. And like the way I explain it now is I finally gotten to the point where I kind of call myself, or actually I do, I call myself a tech consultant more than anything. Because actually nowadays, a good portion of my income comes in total at the end of the year from consulting, just as much as anything. Like consultation and repairs is like 90% of my business.
All right,
anymore. Here we go. So you got it open.
Well, hold on. Let me switch to my AirPods since I'm moving around.
Yeah, do that.
Input. All right.
What's up?
Hear me? You can hear me, right? Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. So I'm trying to figure out. I kind of want to give you like an aerial view.
That's
nice.
I mean,
this thing is packed. This thing is packed really well. Let me see. There we go. I'm on full screen. All right, cool. This is packed super well. Oh, it's all foam.
Yeah, it's going to be one giant piece of foam over that. That's the way they pack up.
Yeah, dude. They're all coming from the same place, Steve. All coming.
You got to just pull that all out in one solid piece, that piece of foam, and then the PVM will be inside it. James Boone asked, is there any way to demagnify a PVM case or demagnetize a PVM case? Now, is it the case like a travel case or is it the actual metal case? Yeah, you don't have to pull all that out. I think you got to try to get that plastic out, like from Roger.
Dude, it's in here so snug. It's really nice.
So to demagnetize it, you got to try to use the demagnetizing wand or the degausser wand, or I had a shell one time that was on an 8-inch that the only way I could get it demagnetized was I actually had to go set it outside in my yard for a week. And for some reason, sitting outside and getting demagnetized by the Earth's magnetic poles finally fixed it. Yeah, that's what it was on mine. Was 8-inch. It was 8-inch. It was the metal shell itself. It got really bad. I had to literally set the thing out inside and like clean it, the metal shell, and leave it outside for a full week before it actually went down and demagnetized a little bit. James. All right. So it looks like, what you think? It looks good.
Oh, dude, this looks great. Let me move that. There we go. That's a good shot. There we go. I mean, screen's intact. The tube's intact.
Yeah.
It was, dude. This thing was packed so well.
Was it one big piece?
One big piece, man. One big chunk of foam.
Oh my goodness.
You mentioned how exactly do they do that? They just there we go.
Okay. Now, what model is this one? A 1350?
No, this is
1351.
No, this is a 14 M1J.
M1. Oh my, really?
Which is exclusive to Japan. It's basically an M2 but without component.
Okay.
It's just RGB. And it doesn't have a camera indicator. I'll leave that on for the moment, but let's see. Oh, motherfucker, I need a cord for this. I didn't even think of it. All right, hang on.
You're going to need a cord and then, well...
Hold on, I'll be right back. I got 100 of these. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't include a cable there for you.
No. Well, you know what? Because you gotta remember, I got that old 44 or 42, which has got the cord built in, which is really nice.
Yeah. You know, I just wonder, does that thing say anything on the back too about the power? If it's, I bet it's rated. If it's an M series, it's probably rated for 1 to 100 to 240 volts.
Oh, it is. It is. Well, here, hold on. Let me find a cord first before I get.
So what were we? I don't even. I'm looking in this WCW game, and I don't think that they have Dusty Rhodes in it. I do know that.
No, they don't. No,
I do know that. I know I've played it 100 times, but I do know they have Ric Flair. And
that's if you're playing Revenge, I sunk so many fucking hours into that game. That is easily my favorite wrestling game of all time.
Yeah, it's a good one. I don't. Maybe he's just in the other one. No. Maybe he's just in the first one.
If I'm not going to be able to find a cord, I'm going to be really upset with myself. I think I know. I got one upstairs.
All right. Well, we're going to go with somebody fun here. Let's do Macho Man. Yeah, this. You just need to get a power cord, man. Do you not have a bunch of them?
No, I do. Hold on.
What about the other? What about that other box? You think they got one in there? All right. Did they ship you one or not?
Yeah. You know what? I know where I can find one.
Goodness gracious.
I know.
It's all right. No, man. I'm going to start while you're doing that. I'm starting my campaign for the U.S. Championship belt here with the Macho Man Randy Savage. I'm seeing how it looks on the screen. So, saw Ric Flair at a restaurant. He's out almost every night in Tampa. James, you're right. I follow him on Twitter. He is out almost every night on Twitter. On Tampa, in Tampa. And he's still running around, like as crazy as ever. Like he's got to be close in his, late 70s, 80 almost. I saw him the last time I've been to so many wrestling shows, but the last time I saw him it wasn't even for WWE. It was for, TNA. Did you ever watch any TNA?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Well, see, where I lived outside Nashville was like where all that came from. Was part of that was from the people that were in that area, like the Jarrett family. Who originally, that guy worked in Memphis with the King and all that stuff. You remember that stuff, right? With
yeah, of course.
Did you watch any of that recent Behind the Territories videos?
No, I didn't, but I want to.
They're good.
I want to. That's the thing is I never really realized how important Jeff Jarrett was I just knew of Jeff Jarrett as some douchebag on WCW. I just didn't like.
he
You
was
know,
he was he was so dislikable. I
They're
don't
like just the
know.
worst. And he
Ah.
called everybody, walking around with a fucking guitar and calling everybody slap nuts, like just a terrible character. Like the guy never got over, but he was like in every single championship card. It's like, why? This
Oh,
guy's fucking
it was
gross.
because his dad. That's what I'm telling you,
Yeah.
Roger. Like the town that I grew up in, for half my life, like my parents after they split up and my mom moved to Tennessee, this area was the biggest house in the whole city was owned by Jeff Jarrett's dad. And he was the one who worked in the Memphis territory with Jerry, like way back in the day. And that's how he became, in charge of all that stuff. And so Jeff Jarrett was always going to be in wrestling because it was in his family.
Well, I mean, obviously he took all of Daddy's money and started TNA. I mean, I got to tell you, I never watched much of TNA. But I know like a lot of big acts got their start there. Like I know, I mean, I think AJ Styles, I think he started in WCW, but I think he
was pretty much a TNA guy the whole way, I think.
Yeah, like he cut his teeth there at TNA but I haven't paid attention to wrestling in probably good 10, 15 years. So like all the current acts, I couldn't tell you anything about them. By the way, I found a power cord.
No, that's good.
I just ripped it off my PS3. But whatever,
that would have worked. Yeah, that's a good
it'll
one.
work.
I think, right? If it's got a middle, it's got a ground.
Yeah, it's got a ground.
Okay, then
fine.
you're good. I'm trying to give old Hulkster here the big elbow drop. Let's see if I could do it. Boom! Oh, I missed. Oh goodness.
All right, man. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's get a test run here. So.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I haven't watched wrestling in a very long time. We got some power going. Did you hear the famous
the
gong?
came on. Yeah, there we go.
All right, let's pin Hogan and see what we got here. Ooh, 2 count.
It's a bit loud back here. Not gonna lie, but
okay, yeah.
Hang on. Let's get our power source on here, or our video source.
Yeah, you can always click the menu button too, see if you get anything to show up on there. Oh,
No, it says no sync on here.
Okay, yeah, then you're probably fine.
It did. It was on underscan for some reason. It's
Hogan's giving me a hard time here. What are you starting off with testing here?
So I think what I'm going to do, I didn't rip out my RGB cable, RGB to BNC. So, but I do have an S video cable, so I figure I'd just start off with some S video, see how it looks.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I know people watching are like, really? You get this thing and
hey, that matches actually what the one that I'm playing on. The Revenge is on an S video right now too on a PVM.
There you go.
It's S video night. That's what it is. All right.
That's how the N64 was supposed to be displayed, man.
It's how it originally was. So let me see if I can get rid of the moire pattern here. No, that makes it worse. This is so interesting. All right. So I'm waiting to see a visual from your purchase yet. I see no sync down there. You got it on the right input?
Oh, that's right. S video's line C. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you. This S video cable is about the cheapest thing I found.
Oh, you need to get the good one from Insurrection Industries. Now, that's the fun thing about S video on these monitors is you can use all the little knobs, even chroma and phase and aperture. Yeah, I don't think it's overly sharp, and I don't think you really lose a lot when you step down from RGB to it. I mean, it's definitely on some screens, but on a PVM especially, it's.
Oh, hang on. On an M series, is there a digital analog button when you're using
not normally. You got something on the screen.
Good.
Oh, you got.
That's not good.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Here, wait. Does it say overscan or no?
No. I don't. Can you can't really see it that well.
I can see a little bit. Can you turn the?
So
oh my
for
goodness.
starters, yeah, look at this.
Okay.
And I have got a super loud squealing sound coming out of here in the back.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I think we got it done here, buddy.
Oh no. Oh no. Like I said, mine did get damage. One of them.
So maybe.
All right, here. Just set this one to the side.
Yeah. All right.
And while you're setting this one to the side, we'll move on here to the. To look
Why don't you try to fight? Why don't you try to get the?
I'll try to get a little further in the story mode.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. Now there's still a possibility that it's not. I don't know. I would think it would still take that signal. S video normally. All right. I don't know anyone about that M1J.
Hold on. Let me try composite. I didn't even try composite.
Yeah, maybe try composite just to see if it's. I mean, but if there's nothing plugged into it, can you pull that menu up and does it look garbled or does it look clean?
Yeah, it looked jank.
Well, then it may just be something that's definitely wrong with it. All right, what we got here? Stevie Ray.
Oh, Stevie Ray.
Gosh, there was when the Hollywood videos. You remember those?
Of course. So
Hollywood videos, went out of business, and I went in there when they were going out of business, and I bought. I wish I didn't get rid of them, but I bought every wrestling WCW pay-per-view VHS tape they had for like 50 cents a piece. And I used to go just live in them.
You paid too much.
Yeah, my house for a while after that store closed, you could still come in and would find like the little bargain stickers on the bottom of VHS tapes. They'd have 1,000 previews on them because they were rentals.
Yeah,
and it's still like $6.99 for a VHS tape back in the day, a used one.
You know what's wild though is WWE pretty much put every single WCW pay-per-view match on YouTube for free. I mean, it's you can go through. I mean, yeah, I made the joke like my YouTube goodness. Algorithm right now is like nothing but like late 80s, early 90s, late 90s wrestling pay-per-view matches, and I'm totally fine with that. Like,
yeah, it's good stuff, man. That's I was obsessed with putting like the Revenge and No Mercy music and as background music for a lot of my videos.
Yeah, you did.
It's still one of my favorites. Sometimes I'll bust them out, man. It's some good background music for like, because when you're sitting there playing these wrestling matches, they go for like 5 to 20 minutes or something if you play them.
Exactly.
And I always thought that was really good background music. All right. Box number 2.
Did you ever? Yeah, box number 2. Let's. So first one was a dud. First one we got some issues. Terrible. We've got some issues. I don't know. Quick diagnosis, Mr. Nutter. What do you think? You got a high pitched squealing sound coming from the back. Power's on, but you definitely have some scrambled.
Yeah, to me,
scrambled graphics at the menu.
Yeah, see, to me, I'd have to open it up and see probably what was, if anything was happening, looking funny inside, and start seeing. I don't know, start looking around the shell, even turning it upside down, see if anything looks like it was cracked or damaged from something happening, like it dropping.
I mean, shit. If I was going to ship it to you, I'd just use these boxes. I mean, these are.
I know it'd probably be fine. Yeah, you could just ship it to me if they're gonna. But I don't know what are they gonna do? Are they gonna like? Can you claim damage for it?
Well, no. So you have to be able to actually demonstrate that there's damage from the shipping process. If you just say it doesn't work,
Oh man.
that it's not enough because they'll say, "Oh, well, it's a junk item. It was listed as junk." So,
Oh.
sorry, it is what it is.
Oh, so
But
maybe did it look like, I mean, it could see that kind of thing where it has that scrambled text is also signs of a diode failure on the board.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. If it's something where it's possibly been there, the problem, then you would just need to remove that or repair that diode,
Right.
which is something that I could do, or it could be caps. I've seen caps go bad and do that too. If it were from shipping damage, like you say, you'd have to show it probably. So you'd have to open it up and show where like something is broken inside, I guess. If you could do anything. Oh, James, you did replace the belts on your VCR and it worked? I've got a VCR here. I think I need to do that with. It's Sony. That's a real intimidating piece of electronics to try to get into.
Oh God, a VCR.
Inside. Yeah, a VCR.
I mean, I opened up a Famicom disk system and I was like, fuck this. No way. I couldn't imagine a VCR. All right, you know what? All right, it's number 2. Number 2 is looking pretty solid.
Good.
Number 1 looked really solid too. So who knows with that?
Well, it might have been that diode problem along if it was.
All right. Here's let's see.
And
Number
is this
2?
the same model?
Same model.
Okay.
Yeah, he had 2 of them. And Steve, if memory serves, I think I got one for $60 and another one for maybe a little more than 50. So, part of me was like, look, if even one of these works, it's worth it. I mean, the shipping was kind of a bitch, but at least I know, what to expect as far as the shipping cost goes.
Yeah.
All right. So it's plugged in. Let's fire it up.
Oh man. Let's go.
Oh.
Come on. Let's go.
All right. I heard it.
This one looks better than the last one. The last one looked really bloomed and bright.
I've got
Oh, there we go. No
good.
sync. This one looks
nice.
good.
Oh, this is solid. This one.
Here we go. Let's hope we can get some.
Good.
As I take it to Van
Well,
Hammer.
here, I've got a. I tell you what, I've got a Super Nintendo here. I'll throw on some. Maybe we'll do some. What should we do? What should we play? We'll play a little Steel Cage. I think WWF Steel Cage for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. The best, prior to the N64 games, the best one was the Midway game. That crazy arcade game.
WrestleMania, yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of that one. I don't know why.
Well, it
was Mortal Kombat in a wrestling game.
Yeah, it was. It was some goofy stuff in it. Man, Macho Man has awful specials in this game. It's like a rope-a-dope punch or a roll-up pin. And that's his special maneuvers. I just can't.
Got our audio. All right, let's check this out.
All right. Here's the moment we've all been waiting for. We had one no-go. You got no sync, right? Or is it going? You got some sync.
It wants to go.
You're going to have to reset your thing. Oh. Come here, Van Hammer. Here, try to reset, your system. I mean, the monitor looks like it's working. So that's a good thing. There you go. I think I just saw a flash.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We got some lines up top. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it's black and white. Hang on.
Now, there's a blue-only mode. Oh.
Yeah, is that on?
And I wonder if it's No, it shouldn't be.
Hold on. All right, the lines are gone. I'm in black and white. Hang on. Let's see.
You're gonna probably have to get RGB. I wonder if it's color, if it's having problems processing the color because it's got to do with
maybe it's the
region
shitty cable that I'm using. Oh, you know, it could be. You're right.
If that particular one doesn't do NTSC, I don't know, because I've never looked up the specifics on it.
Hold on. Let me get I've got a BNC to RCA here. Hang on. I'll try out the composite.
Okay. What was that? S video?
That was S video, yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, this cable, this was the first one I found, and it's just a fucking garbage cable, so.
Oh man, 2 count. We got to see something. You're gonna have to go rip your whole setup apart.
I mean, for a good cause, I guess. I mean,
just kidding.
I mean, all right, here we go. Where are we on?
Of course, if it's on black, is it? No, it says
NTSC. There we go.
Okay, then it was your crappy cable, right?
It was my crappy cable. It was just my crappy cable. I wish. Is there a way I can get this?
Yay! I see the FX pack.
Yeah, man. Hang on. Let's see.
All right.
Let me apologize to your audience here. That's.
What's up, Belmont?
Oh, Belmont's. What's up, Belmont? I see that guy around a lot. All right, there we go.
Here we go.
What are we playing, Nutter? What are we doing?
Excuse me.
Oh, this looks great, man.
Good.
This is in great shape.
All right.
Let's do Royal Rumble. Why not? Let's check that one out.
Let's run through here and test some stuff out. Let's let it do its magic now. And since the first one, LJN baby, legendary LJN.
Hold on, let me get the audio and let me test the speaker.
DiBiase, Macho Man. Oh, I can't tell who that was. I missed it. Oh, we got Undertaker. I saw that one. Hart, Bret the Hitman. So yeah, I was looking at some stuff, and I was thinking about, we were talking when we started to say that you were into 80s and 90s wrestling, and I was starting to think about when I was growing up and how I would have beaten up my own best friend and every kid I knew in my school if I could have had a chance to be the kid that got Bret Hart to put his his glasses on their head as he walked around the ring. Do you remember when he used to do that?
Of course, man. Of course. I knew a kid. I went to God, I was in
there we go.
Grade, and a girl I went to school with, actually, she went to a house show, and Bret Hart gave her his glasses. She brought him to school the next day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Dude, okay. Did you ever get Mr. Perfect, like, just as a wrestler? Like, did you ever understand the appeal? Like, I understand he was a good heel, but he wasn't even a good heel. Like, he just sucked. He just fucking white trash with a Jerry Curl mullet. I never got the.
He was, he was perfect, man.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember when he went to WCW and he was in the redneck group, with Barry Windham, and he came out with that video that rap is crap. Rap is crap. I think that's how the video went. Tatanka.
You got Tatanka here. You got Crush.
Yeah, I remember this. There he is.
Nature Boy.
You were telling me that you got to tell me more about this. You were at the WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, you said?
No, dude. It just popped up on my algorithm. And,
you're watching that.
Yeah, dude. I'm watching all of the '92 Royal Rumble with Ric Flair. Ric Flair comes in. I think the first guy in.
Yeah.
Bulldog.
I remember it.
Ric Flair comes out. He's the third guy, and they keep going on and on about the I can't remember who had the ringside call, but they kept going on and on about who had the actual record for length of time in a Royal Rumble, and Ric Flair won the thing, and the dude worked, man. I mean,
For like an hour that time, or like
yeah,
over an hour.
it was.
Do me a favor, turn the brightness and the contrast just a touch down, and let's see if that. Oh yeah, look at there. Oh yeah,
Looking good. All right, let's get the contrast up a bit.
Well, turn it back down a little bit. All right, there we go. Yeah, right there. I know it's going to look darker. It looks a lot darker in person.
No, it
usually.
looks great. Oh, it looks great, man.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so there we go. Well, dude, so what's the then? Is that like mission accomplished for you because you got to get one? I mean, I think we can fix that other one if you want.
Yeah, I got one. I'm pretty happy with that. I can I can figure out a way to ship out the other one to you to take a look at it. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I think what I'll do is, I guess, I don't know. This will be for my YouTube channel. This will be
your video wall.
Yeah, no. What I'll do is I'm going to do a video where I put PVMs on trial, and I'm going to talk about the good. I'm going to talk about the bad. Talk about if they're overrated, and I'll bring on a special guest to talk about it. We got some convergence issues here, I can tell already. Oh no, that's supposed to be yellow.
Yeah, and plus you're on composite, so
I'm on composite
it could look a little bit bloomed out.
That's true. So what I might do is after I'm done with that video, I might do a giveaway. I might give this away to a lucky viewer. We'll see.
Oh my gosh, you're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck do I care? I mean, I've already got one. Look, I've got my Retro Tech certified, inspted, and serviced.
Yeah, but come on, man. You know, inch. You're going to want one 14-inch. You can't have just one unless you're not allowed to have more than one. You're out of space.
Well, I am out of space. But what I was thinking about doing is maybe I give one of my boys. I could put it in their bedroom. They could play.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Stuff off it. See, I could just
play with the knobs.
Why not?
Oh yeah, here we go.
This is nice. So let me. So this is the first time I've ever actually looked at a 600 line tube on a 14-inch, and it is sharp, man. It looks really nice.
Yeah, that's a good compact line count. Whoa, hey, Nerdy Sean with a big, huge super chat, $50, man. Thank you very much.
Whoa, how about that?
He said he enjoyed my increased. He enjoyed my increased acting range in the recent problem with retro video. Thanks for sharing the repair knowledge. Here's to shipping and handling. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, if you liked that one, wait till you just see the next ones. I spent all day for a 2-minute clip. Roger, I have to ask you. Did you?
Yes,
so you did what? Did you really watch that clip I sent you?
No, I did. I watched them all.
Okay,
no, I'm not fucking around with you.
Okay,
no, I like. No.
So did you get?
Illuminati.
Did you get the? Did you get the beginning of that when I did the Roseanne? Where like it's the sitcom opening from the 90s, where it's like I started with the house and then like the jazz.
I was like, whose house is that?
I literally stole that from an opening of a Roseanne episode. That house. I was like, I'm not putting my real house in the front. I was like,
what the fuck is he doing?
So next time I'm going to do it like the X-Files, where it's like, right? Or something where it shows like a smoky old motel and something.
There you go.
Yeah, it says some stuff. So
yeah, I think so. Let's go through all the different Steves. We've got little retro Steve,
little Stevie retro.
We've got Illuminati Steve,
and I think I'm going with Big Fat Steve. I told Lewis I'm not sure yet. Like he's like I got that other jacket, and I was like, it's more like the Tony Soprano jacket.
Right.
So the jogger jacket. So I'm not
right.
I'm not like I want to do that, but so like I have another idea which I'll talk about where little Stevie Retro just totally loses his mind, and he's like speaking to the other dogs at this point, and he's got the like crazy man's chalkboard behind him, or cardboard with pictures of all
and
different pictures.
You got the red
and the tape
string going all over the place,
and like
like
pictures.
they're all going to Bob.
But the pic and it'll be like weeks before it actually shows Bob, because it's going to be, I'll be like arguing about how we got a like sketch artist who has this new lead for us, and we get it in on a fax machine, and like it just looks like shit on the fax rendering, and like if I could get it to print out like that, it'd just be like, look, we don't even have, so I don't know, man. I'm more interested now in going with 2-minute clips, and then I figure that maybe if I do this for like a year or two, then I'll have like a 20-minute video that might be funny of just the intros.
Well, what you could do, you could do like a Pulp Fiction type Tarantino deal, where like each little vignette is like a short, and you publish the shorts, and they, if you put them along chronologically, it doesn't make any sense, but then at the end you have like a big reveal, and it's like you've got like a 15-minute, 20-minute little sketch, and put it all together. I don't know. You've got a concept. It works, man. That's nice.
Well, I think that you just got to be, I'm having more fun, and I always say if you're having fun and it's like authentic, go with it. That's what I really liked about your new concept, man. Yeah,
you said some really nice things, and I appreciated that. The last it was like the live stream you and Lewis had, and yeah, man, I really appreciate that. Like I genuinely had fun making it, and I just wanted to do something different. I just wanted to do I don't know if you ever watched John Oliver, but I was like, what if John Oliver did stuff about retro gaming? What would that look like? And it would just be, I would dress up, I'd crack jokes and have little sketches kind of weaved in here and there, and I had a lot of fun making it. It was just it came together really easily, and I have a structure now to where I could just make new content pretty easily, and I just got to find the topic and find a guest star every week. So so I've got one going right now that's in production. I've got a pretty famous guest star that's coming up on it. So I'm really excited about that one. So hopefully the stars align. I'll be able to get it published this weekend. So
you're see. Going that quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard. Like the hardest part.
Oh, come on now! You're revealing the curtain on all of us and our laziness now.
The hardest part is the editing. The editing is the hardest part. But shooting the A-roll, shooting the B-roll, getting the game footage. I shoot all the game footage right off my PVM with just an iPhone with the DSLR app, and it turned out pretty good. I got a really nice message from Voltar just saying, dude, keep doing that, because it's really authentic. I don't like capture cards. It just, because when you do it a capture card, you have to, you can't use any of the scanline filters. So it just looks off. So I just want to, it didn't take all that long to put it together. It was just editing. And then when you got editing plus what I do for a living, plus having 2 little kids, it's just a lot. So, but
yeah. It's I'm surprised. Yeah, I was for a while, especially the first couple years of YouTube, man, there were some stretches where I would try to get so many. I think in 1 month I got 18 edited videos out, and that was the most I'd ever done. And a lot of them were like shorter videos, like 3 minutes or less, on like a trick or tips or quick tricks, quick tips. I did these things for a while, and yeah, like you just, at the end of the month, I was like, man, I'm never doing that again.
That's a lot, man.
And yeah, and now, I don't know. Sometimes you definitely go through these highs and lows. So I feel like if you're definitely feeling, creatively good and you got the time and you want to keep pushing, it's always cool to do that. Absolutely. And now it's like trying to, I laugh at how many times I talk about a CRT. And so now I'm like, well, I need to try to even make it more different or reinventing almost my own stuff.
Yeah.
Now. And you got to, I periodically do that myself, but
Steve, I don't care. Like, you could put out the same thing over and over again. Like, you could put out, it doesn't have to be, oh, look at this top of the line, BVM F1 that I'm, doing something on it. That doesn't matter to me. You could work on that little red Samsung. Like, it's just you taking apart a CRT and doing just the routine maintenance and putting it all together. Like, I'm just fascinated by it. And I think it just works. Like, you could just do the same thing over and over again and you're still going to get viewers. I mean, I don't know if you caught, I was on Lewis's podcast and I was just like, man, I could just doze off. Like, just put Steve's stuff on. It's so relaxing and soothing. And then here's the end product. Look, he's playing Outrun on the Genesis. It looks terrific. It's fantastic. It's like home renovation shows you watch on HGTV. It's the same shit. Oh, what are you gonna do? Well, we're gonna redo our kitchen. Oh, okay. Well, what are you gonna do now? Well, we're gonna put in I don't know, this type of backsplash and these counters and these cabinets. I mean, you've seen it 100 times, but you still watch it because you like seeing the big reveal at the end and you like to see the process and somebody describing to you what they're doing. And that's your niche, and I love it. That's how I came onto your channel. I mean, I just found it well before I ever even thought about buying a PVM or some CRTs or having you service anything. I was just like, I don't know what this guy's doing, but I love it. Like, it's just fun to watch. It's entertaining. I mean,
well, thanks. I appreciate those kind words. Yeah, I don't know that sometimes it's surreal to think about that you can almost create. I mean, that's the good thing is you find a niche, and that's kind of what I had hoped that I could do with it, be able to just show off different repairs or different, like insides of different monitors, just more of a documentation style with a lot of things, and be helpful with that. And to be able to pay, get paid to do it, something you love to do is a great thing, even though it's tricky, but everything good really is.
I think the best part about it too is that, let's say you are somebody who's looking to pick up a CRT or someone who's, looking to spend some money and get a professional monitor, and you just Google, you find you find an L2. Hey, I found an L2. I type in 14L2. Boom, here's RetroTech's video where he services a 14L2. So you're like, oh, okay, now I know the ins and outs of this particular, monitor that's for sale near me. Now I want it. And, I just think it's cool. You could put in any type of model, and here's one of the first things I see off Google is your video, because you're the only guy doing it.
Well,
and I think that's great,
I have to laugh that's a funny thing you say that, because that's what I went out to dinner and stuff this weekend with my wife, and she had a colleague with us, and she was asking about what I did, and that's what I was kind of explaining. I was I was just talking about that aspect of it, that
and you're telling
that I was like that. Well,
man.
that, but not that the fact that 5 years ago when I started, there was nothing. Like, you go look up CRT stuff and there wasn't nothing, but there wasn't as much nearly, like anything on PVMs very much. If it was a little bit. The Phone Dork videos were great. They still are great, but that was about it. That and Retro Rob and Bob had a couple things about it, but nobody really dove in head first into him.
Right.
Yeah, and for the longest time, people were just, no joke, straight up, when I started, they were straight up scared of them. Like, they thought just opening the shell itself was going to kill them, which is fine. Right. It'll keep you alive, but it's not necessarily the truth.
I mean, I'm one of those guys too. I mean, I don't, my little wooden 1217 that I've got back there. I mean, I took it apart and cleaned it and everything like that, but I don't want to get more into that. That's about my limit, man. I know my limitations, and I've got a lot of them. So I'll leave that to the experts. But no, man, your videos are great, and obviously your audience is a lot more technically savvy than mine, and I'm sure they're learning a lot of stuff off of it. I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I like the skits though. I think you should keep that up too. I think that's going to be. I don't know. I want to see what you're doing with the retro Illuminati.
Yeah, I have a lot of. I was trying to sit down and like write ideas and storyboards, but the hard
you gotta
thing
have like a spoof. You gotta have like a spoof of like all the Metal Jesus characters. You should do that too.
all
like,
their characters, all his friends. But the problem is they're real people.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna go out and like I have already been to places where I have to interact with them. Like I don't. And I'm
like, hey man, I saw that video you did of me. That was pretty funny.
Literally, maybe then they'll remember me, right? So, like, only interaction I ever had with Metal Jesus was I was in like a bathroom at a convention, and I just looked up, and we're both like standing right in front of each other, and I'm like, "What's up, man?" And he's like, "Hey," and then that was it. And that was, so I was like, okay, but I'm not going to go like, hey, what's up? I'm the Retro Tech guy. You ever heard of me?
Right.
You know, I'm like, hey, how's it going? That's really all it was. But you, my friend, you put out a tweet that you were teasing on Billy Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
whatever.
So no, but Billy Mitchell goes to the convention, this same convention I'm telling you about. So I've met him there the last 2 years. And there's like some of the clips from the Carl Yost videos where he's doing something in Nashville. That's the convention that I was at, where he's always there running around, acting like everything's like legit. And it's super odd. Like, so
He's
the first
an odd guy.
This was 2 years ago. I went to this convention, and they were like, Billy Mitchell's the headliner. But the funny thing is like there's two different sides to this. There's people that are in arcade that just for some reason have no idea about the shady side. They only know him as they believe it all, right? They don't even know there's this other side of the story that's this all conspiracy and all these lawsuits, and you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
So that crowd is like there, and then like I'm there, and I'm like, what the hell? Why would you put Billy Mitchell as the guy like headliner?
So weird.
And I'm laughing because I go and like I don't charge this guy money. I've been doing his show for a long time. I go and I put on a good show at this thing. I mean, I'll have 25, 30 people show up because they get to see me screw around with a CRT. And but then like they'll put the first year they put Billy Mitchell in this huge room like 4 times as big as mine, and I don't think but like 3 people went in there at his time to go listen to him.
What is he going to talk about?
Right. What does
anybody care what Billy Mitchell has to say?
Like I'm out in the floor just hanging out while his talk's going on. And next thing I know, it's like 10 minutes after it's supposed to be going, I see Billy walking around the main ballroom floor trying to like get people's attention to say, oh, come on, you got to come in and watch me talk. And he's like trying to get the showrunner to basically corral people in there. So I'm not going to go out into anything too, online, because I know the guy's crazy kind of about anything people will say and I don't, personally, I don't have any interaction or ill anything. So.
No, but you got to think about it too. Like he was probably paid a substantial amount of money if he was the headliner for this convention.
We was paid something, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he was.
I don't really care. For me, I usually get a lot of comps at the show that's what I do. So, and Bob, bless Bob, he had, it wasn't even one of the main videos. It was a Patreon Q&A. video he did a few weeks ago, and he kind of explained the convention process for a lot of us, where we are kind of we're like the second or third tier acts for a lot of these shows, kind of, and we don't, they don't pay us anything. Like, I mean, all these conventions are ones that we're paying our own money to go to, organizing our own costs. And I'm just somebody who's fortunate enough that I can usually find a way to incorporate a way for my business to make money, right? Whether it's servicing some stuff that are in that area, or, offering monitors to people in that area while I'm there. But
sure,
it's not that simple for a lot of people. They don't have a high price item to just sell off to pay for the whole convention.
Right, exactly. And, you got to consider airfare, hotel, all that stuff. It's like, what am I actually, I'm not going to just sell games while I'm there. Like, you're not going to make any money doing that. What exactly, I don't know. I always think it's great though, that a lot of guys go out to those things, and I'm kind of envious. I'd like to go to one of these things one of these days, find a weekend where I can actually do it. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money, and you're definitely not covering your nut by going out there. I mean, I'm sure you drum up business there, but I'm sure you're probably in the minority there.
Yeah, well, I'm
just watching. What do you got going on? So you got Randy Savage. He keeps pinning.
Yeah, it's just on a
replay.
Stevie
Ray?
No,
is that the Stevie Ray match?
This is not Stevie Ray. This is Van Hammer.
Oh, Van Hammer. Oh my God.
We're on
the
jobber.
That is all right. Give me
jobber tier.
Stop with the jobber tier.
I don't know who's next. This is
Harold,
oh my gosh! Of course, we got this creep, the Canadian crippler, Chris Benoit.
Give me your top 5.
Oh my goodness!
Drug infested wrestlers. Give me your top 5. I think Benoit's probably
up there. Yeah, he was more I think alcohol guy. I'm not sure what Ben was, so I definitely would put high on that list. I mean, I don't know about, I think that my favorite or the top one for me would have to be Jake the Snake.
Jake's up there.
Oh my gosh. Have you listened to that poor man's story?
Yes.
About his abusive father and terrible.
Oh, dude. Okay. So my number 1, I shouldn't go number 1. Let's go in reverse order. I'll go. So number 5 would probably have to be Lex Luger.
Man, I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. He's probably number 5. Number 4, you're probably looking at, I'd go Jake there. Jake the Snake probably at 4. 3, you're probably at maybe Scott Steiner. I think I'm there with Scott Steiner. He was coked out of his mind for a period of time.
Oh, what about Buff Bagwell? He was
Buff's
too.
there too. Guilt by association, Buff Bagwell. I think number 2 is gonna be Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
Number 1's Texas Tornado, man. I mean, Texas Tornado is legendary. That's his story, right? His whole family story.
Is that the Von Erich?
Yeah, the Von Erich family.
Yeah, dude, those guys, holy crap.
Texas Tornado got picked up for drugs. He knew he'd go back in the slammer because of it. It was like his 3rd drug possession charge. He knew he wouldn't be able to do more drugs, so he ended up killing himself. That's some fucked up addiction that's the darkest recesses of addiction. That is really, really tragic. But yeah, he's up there. I mean, there's guys that are did drugs, but I just consider them guys who partied, your Andre the Giants and your Ric Flairs and all that. But yeah, some of the guys who just can't stay sober. Oh, I'd put Davey Boy Smith in there.
Oh yeah, probably. He was bad.
He and which is a shame because that dude had tons of talent, but just couldn't stay sober. Anyway, so what do you got now? You got Chris Benoit, you got the Macho Man.
Yeah, I don't know how many more I got to go before belt. If I stopped for a while.
We were at the Bash at the Beach. That's a big deal. I can't tell how far of a delay this is. So this is what I'll do. I'm watching on your YouTube.
Well, no.
Well, no. So you just let's see. I'm gonna see what move you got. All right. So you just did a whip.
Did I throw him? I threw him in the corner and then punched his face a few times.
All right. So you just did like a suplex there. So let's see. How long ago was that?
Oh, that's a good delay.
You just whipped him in the corner, and now you're giving him some punches.
Yeah, that's like 15 seconds.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, let's not talk like that. So right. I will tell you that when I went out to Houston, when I just got him. When I went out to Houston, like it was back last May. One of the things I did with the main media contact that I was working with out there at the museum is they had TNA, or not TNA, I'm sorry, AEW, which is the new wrestling organization that's out now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the Jericho project, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And that's where, so I went to that, and that was a pretty fun show. It was crazy. I mean, like way crazier than any other wrestling. Like they used like Cinemax level language, you know? And in front of like kids, like there's people brought their like 6-year-olds and they're like, oh yeah,
suck my balls. Yeah.
No, it's even worse than that. It's like, you know what you can do, Jericho? You can eat a big old pile of my shit. And it's just like, what? Oh, so what kind of
crowds does what does AEW draw?
Yeah, like, I was actually impressed. I mean, it was Houston. It was at the place where the Houston University of Houston, where they play basketball. So I want to say it's probably like 6,000-7,000 at the most.
Oh, wow!
And then it was it was probably a good sized crowd. I mean, 5-6 at least. It was full. And,
that's pretty good.
Well, see, they do it right at the AEW shows, at least this one I went to. So you would go there and you could go and they have, I think, an hour or two of matches that they just play on a YouTube show. Like that's not on a channel. It's like their lower end show and it's once a week on YouTube. Well, what they do is you go to the main show that you bought the ticket for and the first hour is this show, right? So you're getting this extra show, but then after the main show, that's the live show, they tape another hour after that, or hour and a half show. That's a taped one that's on like TBS on Fridays. So it's taped, but it all stuff happens storyline after the live show. And what happens is, it's crazy because I bought like a nosebleed seat in this place last minute. And by the time it was the third show, like the last show, where they were taping, I was able to go down and get front row seats, like right behind the metal, like the steel. Nice. Because people just get up and leave because they can't stay for 5 hours.
I was about to say, this must take all day.
And it's like, we got out of there like 11:30. And it's a weeknight. And so there's a lot of kids that just, their parents are like, all right, I mean, there's some people, like a good portion of the people just straight up left after the main show that was live was done. And so then you'd go down, you're like, all right, let's go get some good seats. And the guy that, like I said, he was really into it. He liked wrestling a lot. So I told him, I was like, oh yeah, I'll go. I haven't seen it. You know, they have Dusty Rhodes, or they had Dusty Rhodes' kid, he just went back to WWE, not Cody, the old man now. Used to be Goldust.
Right.
And
so I guess I'm trying to figure that. So they do the live show and then they tape 2 subsequent shows all in the same spot.
Yeah, right? All at the same. And they basically tape an entire week's worth of their programming in one location. Which is smart because then they don't tear up and like set everything up and down for a whole week. It's super efficient.
It's super efficient, but at the same time, it's like if you're going to catch that third end of whatever you went to, you're going to watch it and you're going to be like, damn, there's nobody there. There's like 1,000 people here.
Well, they really do turn the lights down.
Do they?
So you can't really see, and there's definitely some you know, the most of the stuff you see is actually filled with people. They don't like show you too much. They don't like show you the back of the crowd, you know, like when, like at the beginning of Nitro, when it was hot, or WW or Monday Raw, it'd be like fireworks. Yeah, and they'd be like, we're here live in the Smoking Balls Arena, and we've got 15,000 crazy rednecks hooked up to IVs of JR's barbecue sauce on drip. So we've got that lovely picture to think about.
I'm just going through some of the chat. I feel like I haven't talked to any of the chats or anything.
No, yeah, we can bust through some chat stuff.
I still can't believe somebody gave you $50. That's awesome.
I know.
Nice job, Nerdy awesome. Sean.
Thank you.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, he's still hanging out. That's cool. Yeah, there's some more talks about pricing on CRTs, and it's always fun subject. I keep posting my weekly now 2 weeks in a row of CRTs that will never sell listings, and I still can't. Could you? Somebody was still trying to justify a $49,000 listing for the Ikegami, like an Ikegami 20-inch. It's on eBay right now. If you go look up Ikegami.
Is it like new old stock or something?
It's listed. It's listed as new old stock, but
okay.
But even, I mean, that's not even fair because it's still it's still 20 years old. It's just been in a box and never used. So I don't know if that's actually better for it.
I'm just pulling up some of the ones that you had listed here. Yeah, you've got this 20 FV 300, $3,500. I don't, what the hell's the story behind that? That's a,
these were all
$50 TV.
It's all what happens when you put in like retro CRT retro gaming into
this guy,
eBay, and you put most expensive
27 FV 300. Well, at least it's best offer. I mean, it's $1,100 for best offer. So he's got some room to move, Steve. Okay.
Yeah, but these guys don't even know what, they just thought that, I mean, these people are crazy. They thought they have gold, but I don't know. See, I've seen some bigger YouTubers that go into places and they will actually talk about like a 27-inch example of like the one in the chat, a 27-inch Trinitron, and they'll walk up to it and say, oh, this is the Sony, this is the Grail CRT. And it's just like a regular, one of the flat screen
It's like CRTs. An FS100 or something. And yeah, like nothing special.
Again, right. And it's like, and then the guys are like, I don't know, man. I saw on eBay where that's listed for $500.
That's the problem.
And
that's the
problem.
Yeah. Hey, you were, if I'm mistaken, I sent a listing because, I post this shit all the time. Like, because I look just because I want to see what's out there. I want to see if you could still get, decent CRTs for nothing or next to nothing. And you still can, at least in my area, you still can. Because, grandma died and now everybody's cleaning out her shit. But my goal is just, I want somebody to get it. I want it to go to, good hands. I want somebody to get some use out of it. So I find this, I'll see can I share my screen on this? Is that doable?
Maybe, but then if it's something that I'll have
share
to
my screen. Okay, hang on. Yeah, here we go.
Let me see.
All right, go live.
Maybe there you go. Yeah, it's starting to load. Okay, yeah, it's loaded.
Okay, so I found this listing. Maybe you can help me out with this.
Yeah.
So it's a 25-inch GE.
Okay.
GE's, is it GE or is it RCA that has essentially the CRT that you could just swap into like an MVS cabinet? This
is probably that same tube. And it's,
I think so. Right?
And I mean, it's that GE, I guarantee you that's that's probably RCA right inside of it. Yeah, right, that's the same. Right. And that one even comes with a nice piece of furniture.
There you go.
So that's a good question. And that brings me to kind of a real quick point about this. Why isn't, I was thinking about how everybody loves candy cabs, right?
Right.
And the sit down, why, and maybe there is, why isn't there like a MDF, or not even MDF, but some kind of plans to build a wooden version of that of your own? Almost
Right.
the same. And then, like, if we could go and find you could go take that 25-inch tube, you go find a KV chassis that's for an old machine that somebody's thrown out. They think the tube's bad, so they throw out the chassis also.
Right.
And then you'd have a fresh tube to put in it, and then you just rebuild all the other stuff with wiring and fresh buttons.
Right. I mean, it's the thing with arcade one-ups, right? Like, everybody bags on arcade one-ups, and they should, because it's shitty emulation and it's $700 and it's not worth it, right? But if you could just sell the cabinet, because the concept is good. It's a smaller cabinet for people who don't have a lot of space, but they want some sort of arcade experience. And you could probably stuff a 19-inch CRT, 20-inch CRT into these things. You probably could. I'm looking at mine right now. You probably could. So could you get good quality MDF? You could sell just sell the shell for like $200. The control panel, you could put in all your own SanWa sticks, your own buttons, whatever you want. You could trick it out however you want to make it look, like a good arcade cabinet. If you want to have an LCD, fine. If you want to have a CRT chassis, you could hook that up too. If you want a Mr. Cade, you could put that in there. But just sell the cabinet, or like you said, like you could have like a bigger candy cab type design. I think there's a market for that. Because I don't think people want to buy. Nobody wants to buy an arcade one-up for $800 and just have two games. It doesn't. It's stupid.
Yeah, yeah. That's. I mean, well, it's. I just sit there and think about it. So many people are fighting over like these rusty, beat up shells of the, Astro City and everything, and they're paying thousands of dollars for these units to ship them over. And I just didn't. I mean, it surprised me that we don't see in like those custom arcade. I'm in a lot of those Facebook groups. I don't do much on there, but I'll look at those in like sales groups, and I don't ever see anybody making like, they all just make these stand up like MAME machines with a big flat screen in it. They're never
Right.
making like a well, there are some, I've seen some new more modern, sit down machines that are using a flat screen, but my goal would be more or less to be able to insert a CRT into it, really. And I think most of our crowd would want that, obviously.
Yeah, it would, but at least like have it to where you have some flexibility. If you want to have, your LCD because it's easy for you to find, to source it from like a computer monitor or whatever, cool. But it has like the rigidity if you want to, put in a CRT chassis, you could do that too. I don't know. I think that'd be. I'm trying to find. It's funny because you just mentioned that these guys who make these massive arcades with these flat panels. I'm trying to find the listing I always come across, and it's just the most god awful shit. Where the hell is that? Yeah, here we oh god. This is so fucking bad. And I'm sorry if the guys happens to be watching. I'm sorry. But
I'm sure he is. He's probably one of the 25 people here.
I mean, it's really fucking gaudy. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, look at this. He's got, and I say this as a Michigan fan. I mean, look at this.
Oh, are you going to do a screen share?
Yeah, you see it?
No, you're off screen share now. You turned off
I'm off
screen
share. I thought I put it back on.
No, it's not on anymore.
What the fuck? Can anybody else see it? All right.
No.
Share your screen. Okay.
Why? I don't know.
Go streaming channel. Yep, there we go.
All right, we got a $5 super chat again here from Belmont now. Loving the discussion of the vibe, gentlemen. Well, thanks. I'm glad
Belmont,
someone's enjoying
thank
it. Oh my goodness. I forgot I got a new match here against somebody who's good. Big sexy Kevin Nash. All right. Oh, I think he just disconnected from us.
Hold on.
Wait,
Hold
no,
on.
no, there you are.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
I was sharing my screen. I swear to God, I was. Then I shut it off and I hit the wrong button.
I know. Yeah, it was shared. We saw the $25.
Oh yeah, that one worked. I don't know why this other one didn't. Whatever. Who are you fighting now? You got Sting?
No, this is Kevin Nash, man. I don't know
it's
why
Kevin
it's
Nash.
not. The coolest thing I thought about with this silly game was that you could walk out after you won a belt and like you'd walk out to the ring with it on.
That's right. That's right. Continuity.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite non-N64 wrestling game?
Well, I mean, are we talking an old school one? I mean, I really like some. I really like some of the arcade games. You know, like the one. I'm not as good at it, but I like that. Have you ever done the Neo Geo wrestling?
Yeah.
4 count.
Three count bout.
3 count bout.
Yeah, that's a good
3
one.
count bout. That one's fun.
What about like licensed WWE, WCW?
Goodness gracious. You know, those games, I always just remember the most of them sucked. The only one I ever really liked besides, the only one, like I said, that was barely playable was the one by Midway, but the problem with it was it had only a few characters, and, you know, you'd get really tired of that game super quick.
Yeah. Well, it only had a few characters, but like half the characters you didn't want to play with. Like you don't want to play with Doink, right? Like
Big Bam Bam Bigelow. Like you're just gonna
Bam
be
Bam Bigelow or Yokozuna. I mean, I'm not. Yeah.
You're gonna be Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, or Bret the Hitman Hart, and maybe Ramon or Luger. You know,
maybe Luger. Yeah. Okay.
Ramon was cool in that game, but again, it's like why the thing that always sucked with the majority of wrestling games was the lack of characters. I felt like I used to play a crap ton of the games that came out on like PlayStation before this one that were really subpar, and but they would have like full rosters, you know?
Right.
It was like bad versions of this. Like this, you can go at least and grab a controller and just start playing. But
dude, the best was they had WCW Nitro on PS1. And and the game was so fucking bad, and you could just highlight the characters, and they'd play like a little like a 5-second video clip of them cutting a promo, and the best was Booker T's. Oh my God, Booker T and Stevie Ray, they had the best ones. Who else had a good one?
I remember like Alex Wright. Remember that guy?
Alex Wright would show up doing this shit. You know,
I remember that. See, that was one of the games I remember too, because you would like if you would beat the matches, you could unlock new people's like videos. And I remember sitting there like renting that game, and I was like, man, I'm unlocking every one of these fucking guys' videos.
I'm getting Disco Inferno tonight, baby. Let's do it.
Disco Inferno. Now, was it true? Was Disco Inferno really? Is he really? But he's really Bischoff's like brother-in-law or something, or stepbrother or something.
No idea. I have no idea. I didn't do the Disco Inferno rabbit hole.
Oh,
I don't know, man. Somebody had in here the chat, James Boone. He said Saturday Night Slam Masters. That's a good one too. That's
oh yeah, that's right.
Just a regular,
that's generic.
Yeah, just a generic wrestling game. That's probably the best. That and 3 Count Bout was a good call too. Fire Pro on Saturn, Shadow Mask, good call. That's a good one too.
Yeah, I haven't played that one.
Have you? So where I was going with that question, Steve, was the PS2 had a lot of really good wrestling games. Like SmackDown Here Comes the Pain was probably the best.
Yeah,
that was the one with Brock Lesnar on the cover, and you had that was back when you started getting the whole WCW roster started. You were able to play, like you could play as Goldberg, you could play as Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. All those guys were in the WWF games now, which was really cool. That if you don't have that one, I'd suggest picking it up. That one's probably the best one. There was actually like storylines and stuff too. You'd finish a match and then they'd set up a feud for you with somebody and you could choose what you want to do. Okay, do I want to jump this guy after his match? Do I want to help him out? What do I want to do?
Yeah, I remember that one. I remember playing that one on like a different one on the GameCube, similar or something like that. But
yeah,
my favorite character when I was like playing that game, I remember would have been or that time period was RVD.
Oh yeah, man.
I used to really be intrigued by the craziness of ECW, like when it was first coming out, and
right.
I say first coming out because the only thing that I ever heard about it would be if you turned it to that channel on cable box that would show you the previews for pay-per-views,
Yep.
And it was like, what the heck is this insane? And it was only been like a couple of pay-per-views that they'd had, and it was just the most insane wrestling stuff. And I believe we convinced my dad to just let us order one because we would do the WCWs sometimes. And then he was just like, what the, because it was like, guys, talk about bad language. Holy crap. Compared to
ECW,
WCW
for sure.
And blood and just like guys that looked like they were just, razor bladed up.
They were just like Sandman, right? Like Sandman looked like he was on parole, and like his officer was just like, okay, I'll let you on the side. You can wrestle as well. And,
yeah.
They just looked like this is their last chance.
Like they were really like that. Yeah, this is our last chance. We're going to die in that ring tonight. Like literally wrestler.
That's right. And I'm going to fucking eat, breathe, shit, piss wrestling. Like this is it. This is all I know. And the crowd was it was like a cult. The crowd was so fucking into it. They knew, like, everybody was over. Like, everybody knew everybody's moves. Everybody had their own chant. Like, it was just a different experience. I think ECW would show up like at 12:30 in the morning on like some cable access show, like where I lived at the time. Like they would get taped stuff from a week prior. And I think ECW, most of it was in the East Coast. I want to say it was in like the Northeast.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot around that East Coast area, Northeast.
Yeah, like Philly, New York, Boston, like all that. That was the only stuff that would carry ECW. But then it would like migrate its way over to me in the Midwest, and I'd watch it and I'd be like, wow, man, this is fucking intense. Like these guys have issues.
Yeah. Well, I remember another thing that I really, really thought was cool was that you would have those guys and they'd have real like music as their entrance songs.
Right.
And for example, Rob Van Dam, I'll never forget, he came out to Pantera.
Yeah.
And like the song Walk. And I was just like, what? And and then there's so many guys, but it was just so iconic.
Well, Sandman would come out to enter Sandman. It was
exactly.
Badass. And he would show up like he'd be in like the 50th row in section 208.
Yeah. And, start chugging beers and hitting him in his head.
Just chugging beers and smashing him against his head and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is what's going on over here? Just hanging out with a bunch of dudes. I don't know. Yeah, ECW is wild. They had a game too. They had I think when Acclaim lost the WWF license, they picked up ECW. That game was trash too.
We're
losing James Boone. Thanks, James. Have a good night, brother.
For hanging out. Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yep.
I don't know how much. What do you got? You got no trial this week, huh?
No, I won.
You won. Wait a second. Now you are an attorney who's gone to trial. You might be the first one I've met who's actually
gone to many
trials.
I've gone to many trials. I've won most of them. It's I try cases. It's
but how often are these going to, on average, in a year? I mean, don't the majority of them go and get settled out?
Yeah, 99% of my cases settle. I'd say a busy year would be 3 in a year.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly maybe 1 or 2 a year. And it's, it's just cases where somebody wants way more money than they think their case is worth, and end up going to trial. So it only takes one unreasonable party to try a case. So that's how it works.
So if you won, the next person didn't get all that money they thought they had. Right?
Oh yeah, they already spent that money. They were thinking of all the money they were thinking of all the PVMs they were going to import from Japan.
Yeah. Well, so
I'm glad I got one, man. I'm glad I got one.
No, that's good, and I think that other one we'll be able to figure out something.
I'll ship it out to you. You can take a look at it.
It's got a high. It's not that expensive in that box because you've already got the box.
Right.
If you repack it in the best box that you have there, I bet you could ship it to me through FedEx or UPS for $50 to $60.
Dude, I'm not doing UPS again after what we.
I wouldn't do UPS either. You talk about stupid stuff the algorithm does. I was on the Algorithms Wrestling for a while, and then recently I've been getting all these videos about like people that, and this is you really get on these YouTube trains when you've been in them multiple times. I'm in the shot callers and cons pages on YouTube. So it's like all these guys that are making like food out of all the crap that they're allowed, that you could get through commissary. And it'll be like them mixing pickles and Fritos Hot Lays and baking them under their mattress or something. And then
the fuck are you talking about?
and then it's like, again, guys that have just been locked up, and they're just like, is it real? What really happens? What's the worst thing you've ever seen? And all this stuff. And the only reason I brought this up is because the last guy I was watching was on some podcast, and he was talking about how good of or how he shipped just tons of copious amounts of drugs through the regular mail system, right? And that was his way, and he never got busted for that. Like that version, that wasn't what got him caught. Like he would. But he was saying UPS was the worst. They would steal more of his drugs than anybody. He said that UPS would do awful stuff. They would like go and take the box and then like just ship the box empty. Like he would steal the drugs out of it. And they said, well, why didn't you get busted? He said, look, you just set up stuff where it's like you have a shipping company, right? You can't control what you're shipping. You're just shipping stuff for customers. So it's like, it's really elusive to, get in there. And then you're almost like anonymity, right? You don't know, you pretend like you don't know what you're shipping, and you're shipping a bunch of stuff. And you just happen to be smuggling drugs in the middle of that. And
I think FedEx is they actually kind of interrogate you a little bit when you're shipping stuff. They just want to make sure you're not shipping booze. That's all they care about. As long as it's not booze, they could give a shit less.
The best is, that's if you could be a rich baller and just pay you ship, then that's cool. But it's no,
I'll ship this. I'll send it to FedEx. I mean, because it's a 14, right? So it's not. What's it weigh?
Dude,
like 30
in
pounds?
that box, it will be fine if the foam goes all the way around it.
Yeah.
So
it'll be good.
I wouldn't be too worried about the foam, or that if you can get it in there, or you could just ship it and then say, hey man, you guys broke it.
Right? It's me, motherfucker. You remember me?
Yeah.
It was a fucking wooden crate on a pallet. You still fucking broke it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, see, that's the only good thing is now in U-Ship, I just tell people, and this has worked great, to not even pack it. Don't even pack it.
Oh yeah. If it's like a small carrier.
Yeah. That's
like,
not going to move it.
No, like as long as he's got some bungee ties, he could just, put it in the back of his van. It's going to be fine. you know?
Yeah. I wish now if I ever had to go to jail, do you think that I wonder if they let me retake my like clear CRT in there, or if it has to be.
Yeah.
I wonder what if they said like you're not allowed to bring in CRTs anymore, and you have to only take the flat screens. Then you'd have to get Mike Chi to make a clear retro. You'd be pretty set with retro consoles now, though. You know, you get everything in clear.
Yeah, pretty much. Imagine it's funny when you did that prison TV.
Yeah.
That video. All I thought about the whole time was like, imagine the fucking desperation. Like, someone at some point said, you know what, I got an idea. I'm gonna put the dope in the fucking TV. And, you know, when the corrections officer's not looking, my guy will be able to go in there, he'll be able to get it out. Like, someone actually did that. Like, that's like the depths that people had to go into to smuggle fucking drugs into prisons, like putting it into a television. Who would have actually thought of that? You know, and it happened. Clearly it happened because the workaround was, okay, well, we got to make a clear shell for these TVs so we could see whether or not there's any dope in these, these
TVs.
It's
clear. Yeah. Everything. That was the thing. It was clear. Everything. And but you know, the American prison system is made off of making money off of all that. It's like so these are specialty companies that literally bought the crappiest like CRTs and just manufactured clear plastic around them and made them like prison tech, you know, and then they stripped them down. It was a
Zenith, man, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's all it is it's a Zenith. Yeah. You can see right through the inside. It's a Zenith. All right, I got a question here from David Carmichael real quick. Does you shipping cost one way only? Yeah.
Yes.
It's only the one trip, and it's not, you don't like book it both ways. If you want to save money on UShip, then you just basically get in there and do the name the price tool and name it right at whatever their recommended price. I don't think anybody's doing it for probably less than that. You know?
Yeah, you've basically got to quote it at the top end of whatever that is, or you're just not going to get any. The way it works, David, is you put in your commodity, what you're shipping, you put in where the intended destination is, you put in how much it weighs and all of that stuff, and then you have the choice of doing one of two ways. You could either accept bids, you could just let all of these drivers just bid on your load, or you could just set the price yourself and UShip, like Steve was talking about. UShip kind of gives you a range of what they think it would cost to ship your item. And no matter what they tell you, it's always too low because no one's going to want to do it. So you always have to pick kind of the higher end just to attract a driver to take it.
Unless you're in like a super accessible area that gets, and you're only shipping if like I did a job where I shipped one to DC, I think, which is only 2 hours from here. And I live right next to a major interstate that's shipping. And so I had somebody give me right on the recommended price just because they were doing this like all the time. Right. And they're picking up a dozen things. Right. But that's not typical.
If you live like in like Steve said, a high traffic area, like if you live in,
any
St. Louis,
any city.
Yeah, any city, really. I mean, except for Detroit, because we're kind of like in our own little pocket, But if you're in a place where a lot of interstate traffic intersects, then yeah, you're going to have an easier time. It really depends on where you live, unfortunately. But
so you're Michigan guy, right?
Yeah.
Where?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, there. So how much do you love Jim Harbaugh?
I have a love-hate relationship with Jim Harbaugh. The best way I could describe it. I get tired of the same shit every offseason. Is he going to go to the NFL?
Of course,
how much, and it's just, I'm just tired of it. Every year it's the same bullshit, but he's doing a great job.
Because he beat Ohio State?
Twice, 2 years in a row. Going to 2 college football playoffs. So, Yeah, this year will be a good one. This year they have actual expectations this year. Like,
Yeah.
if they're not in the championship game this year, then it's a failure of the season. Like, that's for the first time in probably 25 years, Michigan football has legitimate expectations, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to think about that, but
Yeah, it would have been since
Charles Woodson.
I was going to say that since Peyton Manning was playing college football, because that's where I was down in Tennessee, where everybody. But the funny thing was when I was growing up in Tennessee in the 90s, people back then were complaining about Peyton Manning because he could never beat Florida.
Can't beat Florida.
It's Spurrier,
man.
And the guys before him were like Heath Schuler, and he could beat Florida, and all these other guys. Well, hell, and I think the guy before, it was the guy who went and played baseball, who was the real smart guy for the Rockies, Helton. Todd Helton.
Right. Todd Helton.
He
the
played,
Todd father. Yeah.
And then he went and made $1 billion swinging balls out into Coors Field, just. So in Michigan, do you go, where do you where are you, do you go on the lakes?
Usually, we're surrounded by lakes, right? We're surrounded by more fresh water than any other state in the country. So usually in the summer times, we like to go on the shore of Lake Michigan. It's got beautiful beachfront. You'd swear, you could squint, you'd think you're in Florida or California, something like that. It's, Lake Michigan's so big, it almost looks like an ocean when you're there. But then you got, Lake Erie to the south. You've got, up north, you got Lake Superior up in the UP. Really good fishing up there if you're a big fisherman. I'm biased. I live here, but I think Michigan's great. I mean, it is. It's got, you've got a little bit of everything here. Like, if you we have wine country. We have beach property. We've got a couple big cities. Like, we've got, big concerts, big sporting events, big everything. It all comes here. So it's like, you kind of, when you get 4 seasons, it's been a brutal winter so far, but in the summertime it gets up in the high 90s sometimes. I mean, you get a little bit of everything here, the good and the bad. But yeah, have you ever been up here? You've probably never been up to Michigan, right? Southern border.
That's actually something, a place. No, I've been a lot of places. I don't really think I've been to Michigan at all. Not really anywhere in that area. I know.
You could always crash here for free, Steve.
Oh, well, thanks.
Mikasa Sukasa, man.
You're already treating me better than the conventions. We'll just have a convention in Rogers' basement, 8-bit Esquire convention.
You've got to fix my KV-12.
Yeah, is there something wrong with that one?
I don't think so. It's just a fucking 40-year-old CRT. I mean, it's just RF only. It's just it looks like shit.
Bob's been like, oh, I want to get one of those things, and he brought me one, and he's like, I can't get this to work, and I got it to work, and I'm like, after I got it to work, I was like, he's like, I can't get it to turn on, and I'm fooling with it. And I finally get it to just pop on by messing around with it, not even having to open it yet. But I can't get any volume to work on it. So, but I get the picture on it, and of course I turn it on, and it's black and white. And and I'm looking around, I make sure, and it's definitely a black and white set. No color adjustment on it, nothing like that. It's for sure black and white. It says so on the label. But it's from the mid 80s, so it's not even as old. It just looks old. Wow. It kind of looks old. It's got dials on it.
What brand was it?
Magnavox.
Magnavox, okay.
But anyway, I got back with Bob, and I was like, Bob, I got this thing turned on, but it's black and white. And I was like, do you really care about it anymore? And he said, no, damn it, no. And I said, good, because I didn't want to waste any time trying to fix the speaker on it too. Before I tore it open, it fixed the speaker so that the funny thing is I brought it back to him, and he forgot to take it, so he just left it in my car. So it's up there in the junk pile.
He didn't pay any money for that, did he?
I don't know. I think it was something he gave me some, like, when I went up there to see him, he gave me a bunch of just random CRTs that he had, and a couple of them. One of them looks like a damn like grizzly bear shat it out. Like it's got all this weird brown stuff on it. Like it literally, or like the Ace Ventura scene where he pops out the fake rhino's butt,
Right.
in two. That's like what this. That's what it looks like. This CRT got pushed through. Speaking of, so that one. Like I've got all of. He's just like, here, you want this one? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It's like,
so what's he doing? He's just stockpiling CRTs. Like,
well, yeah, he had. He has his huge wall that you see.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, so he had a bunch of these CRTs that were not so great on that wall, and he's been upgrading them. So. When he gets other one, he's like, yeah, you take this one.
Swaps it out.
Yeah, he's like, I don't have anything to do with this one. And some of them I can't take because I don't have space and they don't work. But if they do work and they're 13 inches, I don't even care if it looks like they did come out of a rhino's butt.
A rhino's ass.
I'll still take them.
That's so
funny. Roger, I don't know how long you got.
No, man, I got to go to bed.
Yeah, I know.
I'm up at like 5 every morning. So, but
me
no,
too.
No, man, this is good. I'm glad I got these opened up.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad we got to have a little bit of an audience here too. Yeah, I'll box this bad one up and I'll probably ship it out your way. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these things. I don't need them. I don't want to sell them. I might give them away as like a contest. I'll see what I figure out what to do with that. But or maybe I'll give them to my kids. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
You're going to want to keep them for your kids because your kids are going to be mad at you one day when they're like looking back at this stuff. And they're like, Dad had one of these and he just gave it away.
He was too busy talking about the Texas tornado.
That's it. Yeah. All right, everybody. We appreciate you joining us tonight. Please, if you haven't already, go over and check out 8-Bit Esquire's channel on YouTube and be ready for the next trial. And thanks for hanging out with me tonight, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. We'll do it again sometime.
Absolutely. All right, everybody.
All right, guys.
Have a good evening. We'll see you next time.
Be well.